Back with another episode of OCR, Ohio Cannabis Report. Wait for my guy Broderick to tap in. We got a couple topics that we're going to discuss tonight. We're going to leave it short and sweet. Leave it short and sweet. Ooh,
Yo,
live in full effect.
I don't know why my freaking background is messing up. We're gonna have to have whatever. Going plain Jane. Can't figure it out in time, but let's knock it out. Hey,
Well, welcome back to the Ohio Cannabis Report, OCR. I am your host, Gerald Moore Jr., along with my guy Broderick Randle Jr.
how you doing? Welcome back. Another episode.
Another episode. What's episode? This is like 4, 5. I don't know. I lose track because we just like getting it done.
It consists. We just learning consistency is key. So
Yep. Thank you to everybody that's been watching via YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Ohio Cannabis Report. Show us some love, like, follow, subscribe, comment. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube, the Ohio Cannabis Report.
yeah, thank you for those that have been subscribing too. Like you said, and watching, supporting, trying to. It's all truly organic. Trying to keep it growing.
Yeah, and the support really helps, man. At the end of the day, we have a passion behind what we do. Obviously, we have our own jobs and careers and families and things that go on. But doing stuff like this, we're doing it out of our love and passion for the culture, the plant, and just the people, So definitely seeing the support and the likes, the comments, the follows, definitely helps us keep it going. So keep it up, share the word, spread the word, tell your friends, send the link to a friend, and then hit us up if you want to be on the show. Like I said, we're going to do more lives and stuff on the different platforms, Instagram, YouTube. So if you have a story you want to share, you have a comment, send it to us. Let us know.
Right. Speaking of power of the people, and just sharing your story using your voice, uh, reminds me of a powerful, smart, you know, young woman that she taught me, or she heard me out a long time ago, but then she also told me and taught me how people run everything, even including the government. But sadly, we don't really recognize it and acknowledge it in a lot of ways. Um, and this cannabis is another instance where it's like, yo, we need to come together and unite and take control over something that we all need or use for better forms of life and wellness and stuff. So it's like, uh, power to the people. Truly, so many times that people don't, like I said, that people don't realize the real how much power they have, and we're the human race. We're not talking about just certain people. We're talking about all in general, those who are intelligent enough and willing to know and come together to make greater forces.
For sure. I mean, everybody has a voice. Whether you believe it or not, whether your title at your job, is janitor. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, titles are titles, but we're all people at the end of the day. So we have to use our voice. We utilize this platform to hopefully help others understand that they have a voice, but we also use our voice off of these platforms. We show up at the State House, we do lobby days, we set up our own events, we encourage other people to utilize their voice, whether they work in the cannabis industry or not, because at the end of the day, like Broderick said, we all have a voice, and our government is run by people. Like those people don't get into office without people voting for them at some particular juncture. But also, as just human beings, we have to step up. We know this plant helps a lot of people in a lot of different instances, and some people can't speak up, especially if they're using this event. Let's say they have cancer or something that's stopping them from, really being able to get out of the house or do certain things. So your voice matters. Email your state representatives, email your congressman, call them, because this is a serious matter. And we're in a time right now where people need access to medicine. And when you look at cannabis, like if we could all grow our own cannabis, like just think about how much easier that would be on society and people that may not have insurance or may not have the best insurance or may not have the resources to afford, cannabis, especially in our program, because we know our program is a little bit more expensive. So let's go ahead and get into the show. I know Broderick sent me over a couple things, so I'm gonna go down a tally list and then we could basically run off. We're not gonna keep y'all too long. We got on late tonight, but we got a few topics that we can hit on. So I'm gonna let Broderick tell me which ones we want to go over. So we got the Ohio medical cannabis industry employee burnout. We got retail therapy times pharmaceutical sales. We got medical cannabis overall education, legalities, and awareness, licensing fees and ownership costs. And then we got lack of independent business owners opportunities, lack of medical cannabis in the community, no safe place or consumption area for patients who rent or don't own living properties, lack of affordability and accessibility for most registered patients or those considering, lack of support for brand ambassadors, travel, and car mechanical expenses. And I think that was it. Yeah.
Man, so it's tough to. I ain't gonna lie, it's
Some
tough to
heavy
just
ones.
pick one.
But we could just go into it. You know how we do.
But I also want to say, like, we even have some, comments and requests of subjects to talk about on the
Yeah,
High
let's do
Cannabis
those.
Report too.
Let's do those too. Yeah.
So,
Do you have them pulled up or I need to pull them up?
yeah, I got them pulled up. So, like, I'm gonna be honest, we gonna come back to those. The list you just ran off, let's come back to those, and that's just a brief, I could give
Scratching the
away to
surface.
the viewers. Yeah, scratching the surface to what's coming, because those are some heater subjects that I think we gotta elaborate further on. And hey, maybe some of them, let's even bring some guests on that might want to share. But so one of the questions that I was asked from a patient, why as a patient who pays for registration and card fees, which are out the ass for plant medicine, do I have to chase down my doctor for him to update his DEA and contact information? And why won't they dispense to me until he does? Why can't the helpline on my registry card? Why can't I call the helpline on my registry card and they actually be helpful? Uh, you're doing it wrong, Ohio. Let's see. That's one. So we can start with that, and then there's more of this. So, like, I agree. I'm not going to name drop, but if you go to our social media page, Ohio Cannabis Report, you can clearly see the comment. And I totally agree in regards of this state, especially with this program too in general. Like most government state officials or forms of government, they're really quick to take your money, but when you really need that help, it's such an impossible, like or not impossible, but a very long wait usually in returns or in regards of communication. You either gotta go above and beyond out your way to send multiple emails or calls, or just gotta stay consistent, trying to make sure you get somebody, an actual real human instead of a robot in most of these places. And then like on top of that, we're dealing with a lot of real sick people. So I don't really think the program writers of this program actually considered the thought of that, like, oh, we're gonna get some people started, and then if there's an expiration on their card, or like she's mentioned, something that the doctor didn't do in their end, we're gonna not let them get their medicine, despite putting them in a cycle, creating that that new desire or want to have this new medicine to try to get on a better path to wellness, but then all of a sudden it could be taken away instantly just because there's something that they made some mistake made on the back end that's not even the patient's fault. It's like, why is this plant so restricted? Like literally the pharmacy, I mean, yeah, it's some restrictions, but it's nowhere near the way it is for this one plant that helps so many people.
Right, and helps so many things. And I think too, obviously it being a new program, there's so many holes in just like how you go about even working with the government and the Board of Pharmacy and Commerce. And so like there's just like I feel like the doctors probably don't even know, then the dispensaries don't even know. So how would the patients know? Like they're not really doing any patient education. The majority of the patient education is coming from patients. It's coming from consumers. It's coming from maybe some of the cultivators. I know some of the processors are doing, patient education days in dispensaries. But again, not everybody can make it to those days. Not everybody makes it to when, a cultivator or processor is educating folks.
Right.
But there should be just a basic website, with tutorials and conversations where, hey, if you're a patient and you have any issues, you should be able to call this hotline, like a 24/7 hotline. You think about any other pharmaceutical, there's labels on the product that says, hey, if you have any type of issues, typically you can call this, this hotline, and it's going to be there 24/7. So it doesn't seem like it's well thought out. But also like it's like, we have tons of other states that have legalized at this point that their programs are running well.
Right.
And it's like Ohio's neglecting the fact that there's other people doing it. And it's just like, well, we're just Ohio, you know what I mean? So we're not going to worry about anybody else. We're going to do our own thing. But, like I said, like we said, the patients need to be, first priority. And patients range in age, they range in sex, gender, all that stuff. So we need to really be caring about the patients. And patients shouldn't be coming to us. We have people coming to us asking us questions, and we're not getting paid for that. You know what I mean? And you have us doing research. You have us looking up certain things. We know certain things because we do the research. But as the patients, as a collective, we all have to come together, band together, and say, hey, enough is enough. And because like we
Yeah.
said, people are hurting, man. People are in pain.
Yeah, I agree, man. This is like real life medicine. And what people fail to realize is, I used to work at a dispensary, and it's a hybrid. I mean, I guess we can kind of talk on one of the subjects. A hybridization job where is one side type retail, but the other side is like actual like pharmaceutical health sales, in a sense where you're really playing with not playing, but like you're dealing with someone's health or their opinion of their own health and effects from the medicine they buy. It's like, if you just steer them to something that literally you haven't even tried yourself, or you just kind of recommending it just because you choose to, it's like, how by any means is that helping the person by the way that they need or should be getting it? That's more so a personal selection versus, let me hear you out and what you're looking for, and then we address it from there.
Right.
So
I'd be interested, like, what is your, like, obviously, you haven't been in that role, but what was your training like being a bud tender in the dispensary? Like, did they make sure that y'all knew about every product? Like, did they make sure you guys knew about all the different health issues that people had that maybe a certain product was better for? Like, how was that?
well, I mean, that's a good question. I wouldn't say they made they made sure you did that, but it was more like self determination, self will. Those who actually put in the time or use their downtime to learn more what they didn't know were able to, like, you know, productively make progress in a sense to where they could hold a legit conversation with anybody that walked through that door, but about cannabis or whatever the choice they may be thinking. But then there wasn't really, I can't there was some training, but it wasn't like, okay, this is, you have to do this.
Right.
I mean, it might have seemed like that, but a lot of ways it was more so just like, you basically, hold up. Rephrase that question. I mean, re-ask that question one more time. Sorry.
Yeah. So when you were working in the dispensary, and like that's how me and you met, pretty much.
Right. Oh, and the training. Okay, I'm sorry. It
Right.
slipped my.
You good?
But yeah, like, no. Honestly, the way it was is just like, it wasn't no set or forced training in a sense. It was more like a basic training, and then from there it was up to you. Like I said, self will, self determination. If you wanted to add on, almost like graduating from high school or college or 2-year college or whatever. It's like, do you want to stop there or keep adding on
Right.
to
Do
your
you continue your
knowledge?
learning yourself, or
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like from there, like I said, I was so passionate that I kept learning in YouTube University, reading books when I can, or just even specific parts of books to try to
Right.
learn stuff. So I just learned too, to like, me and talking between you and I talking, or just even talking to a lot of other cannabis community folks. Like, it's like we need to. We're lacking so much education to the point where a lot of our community, that those that don't even necessarily have to use it, uh, are still missing out on even the business opportunity just because they turn the other cheek. And it's like, yeah, you could be investing,
Right. Or
and
turning their nose up at it, right? Like,
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, they just turn their nose, and it's like, yo, you could be making so much money investing in it, or working
right.
with somebody that do know what they're doing or use it, but still know how to do business. And a lot of our people just sit on it or not
Yeah.
take advantage.
Yeah, that's one of the tough things. It's just like, it's a plant, you know what I mean? So, and it's an investable plant, and it's a business. So there's so many opportunities. Like, if you're working a job, like everybody's trying to make money.
Right.
Like, why wouldn't you try to make money off a plant, something that grows out of the ground that, you could perpetually make money from,
They
you
lied to
know,
us.
and be
Money
invested
changed.
in. Right. Like we've been lied to, for, what, 50, 60 years at this point. You look at the propaganda, like, but also what we realize, I mean, me and you are fairly educated and we educate ourselves. But when you realize that a lot of people, you know, really just live based off what they've been taught at a young age. So if you were taught,
Yep.
in middle school, high school, I know the DARE program, right? A lot of us went through the DARE program where it was like basically don't do drugs, say no to drugs. But then if you're a black man, like most of us grew up in households where we saw weed, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? And so we were learning two different things. And it's like in reality, like now that we're older, and then obviously you get your first try of weed, and you're like, oh, this ain't bad at all compared to alcohol or compared to, opioids that we've seen people take, or, all these other drugs, fentanyl running crazy, you got opioids running crazy. But they put so much energy, so much money and resources towards telling people that weed was bad. Whole time weed is healing people of sicknesses and ailments, allowing people to, live a better life, a more holistic life, a fuller life. And then people are just, if you tell somebody you're doing it, people like turn their nose up at you, like, oh my God, like you're a weed head, you're a pothead, all these different things. And that makes people too not want to talk, right? I think that's also, another reason why a lot of people don't talk, because they don't want that stigma. They don't want to have to explain themselves
Right.
to somebody that's not going to listen to them anyway. Um,
Yeah.
but
I know what you mean.
Ohio's cannabis industry is double the prices of most other states. So that sucks. Most companies don't support the patient's rights to grow as well because it takes money away from them. Gotta love greedy corporate America. So that's another comment from our Instagram. So thanks to our followers for being engaged.
Yep.
And it's definitely, I mean, expensive. And so, obviously with inflation happening, gas prices are high, all these different things, when your medicine's high, we can't use insurance for it. Not everybody has access to, a dispensary nearby.
Right.
So products are expensive. And so, that forces people to go to the illicit market, go to the legacy market,
Yep.
where, products may not be as regulated and things of that nature, but also being able to grow your own medicine and be a caregiver is a huge thing as well for a lot of people.
Oh
What's your
yeah.
take on that?
That's think that's amazing because earlier we were discussing it a bit, and I feel like that's something. It's a great rebuttal or just follow up to if someone was to say like, "Well, not everyone could grow or be able to." Yeah, they may not be able to either from just their physical, um, disability or just from the lack of knowledge or skills. But if they had the ability to appoint a like designated caregiver, that'd be really cool, really dope to see that somebody else could near them or around them to um, produce the medicine that they need for them. Which, like I said, and it creates more community amongst the program, the plant, and just society. So
In a circular economy now, you're able to feed into somebody in your circle that, may be able to grow the plant, then you could pay them. Um, and that may be a job, it may be a business opportunity for them to take on that helps their family, helps their community. So,
right,
I mean, it's a circular economy when it comes to, what we're doing.
yeah,
Um, and it allows people to, sell a product that maybe, you might have somebody, instead of selling cannabis, they might be offering opioids or something else that
right,
might be a little bit more damaging,
yeah,
instead of, producing cannabis. So there's a lot, man. It's deep. I'm gonna go to, we got some other comments. One of our questions was, why do you medicate? Um, Ganja Land Native, shout out to Ganja Land Native. I medicate to ease my soul's pain of working through generational trauma, to curb my depression and alleviate my anxiety, to smile more and worry less. And
mm,
so that's just a beautiful thing right there. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people are dealing with some heavy things. You know what I mean? I think we all are at some point. And so cannabis really allows us to kind of relieve that burden, express ourselves in a lot of different ways, and release some of those traumas and release some of the depression and anxiety. So it's a beautiful plant.
Yeah, it's amazing plant. Man. This one plant could help the world.
So many things, right? I mean, if you have trouble sleeping, there's something for you. Like if you have, if you have anxiety, you're anxious, there's something for you. Like if you just need to calm down, or you need something to help you with creativity, you need something to help you eat, help you with your diet. Here we go. I medicate, so I'm not popping 5 to 7 pills a day that give me horrible side effects. Only cannabis for every ailment nowadays. That's beautiful.
Yeah, that
So
is.
one plant takes away 5 to 7 pills for this person.
It's pretty dope. So imagine with the right appropriate number, with how many other pills could be decreased or taken away,
Right.
especially when somebody genuinely get devoted to growing their own medicine, want to provide quality to for themselves or their close friends or family.
Yeah, it's all about quality of life. And these are real people at the end of the day. These are human beings that are dealing with things. And we're so grateful for our followers for sharing these things. So we're not just making this stuff up. If you want to go on our Instagram, these are, people that are following us, people in our community and our network that have been willing to share. And a lot of times, when it does come to health, right, we do have HIPAA laws and stuff like that. So as a healthcare professional, like a lot of times people don't want to share, what they're dealing with because it's very personal.
Yeah.
But that's what we love about the plant, and that's what we love about our community is that we have people that are willing to share. Even Broderick and I, we both deal with different issues. I have chronic pain, I deal with anxiety, I deal with a lot of different things. After playing football, a lot of hits to the head, traumatic hits, just life trauma, PTSD, all these different things. So for us to be coming out and be forthright with you all about what we deal with, we are truly grateful, and we honor all of those who are willing to share their stories with us. And so we don't want you guys to come on and be like, oh, we're just putting people's business out there. This is, information that's been shared with us, and that's what we want to. We just want, to humanize and, end the stigma around cannabis.
Right. We just want to normalize it and be able to, actually talk about it so general and plain, like the fact that we could just talk about how if you go to a bar, everyone in that bar, at least as an adult, everyone should be 21 up, are
Right.
knowingly poisoning themselves. And, we do that daily in this world. And,
Hmm. Happy hour every day.
yeah, why can't we do that with cannabis, but in a more powerful and wellness way, more healing, connecting way as far as community too.
Right.
But we can't do that if the government keeps mm, misjudging and brainwashing
Yeah.
folks.
And again, as people, we have to understand the government is made up of people. So the governor is a human being, the lieutenant governor is a human being, our state representatives, these are people. So the only way that we can really address them, usually they don't look at social media, right? We're all on social media. We put our feelings and thoughts on social media. But we have to go to them directly in order for them to really listen to us. And so, yes, social media is a great tool. It's a great way to express ourselves, but we also have to understand, like, we have to go to these people. This is their job, and their job is to take care of their constituents. And if they're not taking care of their constituents, which is us, even if they're Republican, Democrat, don't matter what side you're on. If they're in office, their job is to take care of you and your needs. And so I'm not from Ohio, so I've been learning a lot about the Ohio politics, and it's clear that they don't really listen to the people. So, but we have to make them listen. So I
Yep.
got one more comment. Recovering opioid addict myself, and using cannabis for everything. I've always consumed, but now I consume with a purpose. I know what helps me best with each ailment. Microdosing daily with THC, CBD, and CBN helps keep my pain in check and my anxiety at bay. My depression has also improved to almost non-existent. It's taken me a couple years to get it right, but I finally figured it out. This happy, sober place, and I'm so thankful. That's
See,
beautiful.
yeah, that's stuff like that, man. You would hear daily. That's just like, yo, that's dope, and that's life changing, literally, or just you know, even mood changing. Like, oh shit, like that's
All right.
powerful. Cannabis is a very impactful plant in so many ways. Um,
So many ways.
so like it's this we're not trying to in no way uh, put anyone on blast or like embarrass anyone. We're just trying, Gerald said, provide a platform so people can come and use their voices and um, even creatively connect, to figure out ways we can and just also keep, building and
Just having a
hopefully change.
conversation.
Yeah, having the conversation so that since they're not hearing this, we got to make them hear us, forced
All
to,
right.
because in a lot of ways it's more so like, oh, let's get the money, let's get this fixed, and then worry about that later.
All right. And we all understand like it's a big money game. Like we said earlier, most people can't even get involved on the business side of things because it's so expensive and it's limited. So, last week they did what this or yeah, this past week they did open up or they said that 70 more dispensaries are coming across the
Yeah,
state.
73
Uh,
more. Yep.
73 more, but only 70 was on the list. So there's still three, I think, that need to be come
Listed.
through.
Yeah.
But we do have I have somebody that said only 88 counties, and I still have to drive through three counties to get to the nearest dispensary.
Damn.
So, Ohio's a big state, again, like we're a huge state with 11 plus million people in it. And so, yes, we have what there'll be 150 something dispensaries now,
Yep.
for 11 million people,
Right.
which is still
Well,
not enough,
it's not enough, and uh, it's still probably going to have high prices.
Right.
Uh,
Of course. So, it's still, I know people are excited, like, hey, we got 70 more, but, it's still not enough. There was something in being passed for adult use, and that's been pushed back to 2023 now. So it
right.
doesn't look like we're going to get adult use anytime soon here in Ohio.
Somebody
Uh,
got paid a hefty deal.
yeah, and that's, another reason why we started this platform is because the patients again are being left out. And there's a lot of people that aren't going to even try to mess with the program because they don't even know about it. Like, how many people don't even know we have a legal like I've talked to so many people and they don't even know we have a legal cannabis industry. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And and so that's just
Can't
insanity.
Sadly, we can't really market or advertise too much. Not making excuses, but it is something that uh, needs to be discussed or potentially changed.
Well, and that's why I think we do what we do on this platform, right? Like, we're basically an ancillary company. We're a media platform. So we're not the news, but we are our own new media where we can share our own topics. We can share our own,
Right.
things that we want to. And so this is our platform to really speak up because there's not many out there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So shout out to Ohio Cannabis Live, shout out to Cannabis Can,
Yep.
shout out to the different folks out there doing different projects and sharing stories, sharing the voice.
That's what we
Dr.
need.
Bridget,
Yep. Dr. Bridget, Anthony Riley, Ganja
Anthony
Lynn,
Riley,
Candace, Allie Reeves, all of
Allie
them.
Reeves,
Shout
yeah,
them out.
everybody out there.
Midwest Cannon women, Women King,
Mhm.
all of shoot, anybody that's chasing a dream or vision, cannabis related or not, honestly. But still, we shout y'all out and want to provide an opportunity and a platform to come use your voice because, again, power to the people. The more we realize that, the more we can get things done and be impactful, and even maybe discuss ways to further unite and strengthen our movement.
Yeah.
Our cannabis report, reporting to you live. How we do. We'll catch y'all very soon on the next episode.
Yes, yes. So go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ohio Cannabis Report. Go ahead and follow us on Instagram at Ohio Cannabis Report. You can follow Broderick and I as well on our personal pages. I think I probably post a little bit more than Broderick, but if you want to come see, my toddlers and what we do. But shout out to all the cannabis dads out there. I know the cannabis moms get a lot of love, and y'all could do y'all thing. But shout out to the cannabis dads out there, man. The black men out there.
Black men dads too, for sure.
Yeah, man, because that's one of my things, as black men, obviously y'all see me in Broderick, but we need more of us to speak up and step up. Because this is the only thing that we truly have is freedom of speech. We have our voices, we have our stories. But we've been the most disproportionately affected group by cannabis criminalization. You know what I mean? So I know a lot of folks don't want to share their stories out of, fear of possibly getting prosecuted or what have you. But if you have a story about how, cannabis has impacted your life, whether you've been impacted by the law, whether, it's a health thing, whether it's impacted your community, which we both know it has because it's impacted our entire family, whether it's monetarily, our health, we have to fear for our life. You know what I mean? Like if you get pulled over by the cops and you may have a joint or something, you know what I mean? Your heartbeat gonna start racing. You know what I mean? So it's there's so many things that are impacted by this. So we need everybody to speak up. Because this is, we're getting to the point where I don't know I think a recession is coming. Like there's so many things happening, right? Like. But this is a business opportunity. This is a health and wellness opportunity. And this is an opportunity for us to really step up. We losing to the state up north. And I know everybody loves Ohio State, but at the end of the day, we losing to Michigan.
Yeah, we are losing. I know they got some years above us, or before us, but what's sad is, and not even just with Ohio, but a lot of these states don't even in life, why can't you, if you got an older sibling or cousin, relative, I know we all got to bump our heads and learn, but it's like, why can't you save some time and efforts and learn from somebody else's mistake and actually be like, let me review what worked and what didn't in their program, and let's focus ours around what's working. Like, and they could take bits and pieces from all over the nation, but at least put it together where it's like, all right, this way, this works this way, so that when someone from the cannabis industry in another state comes here, they're not all the way confused or uncertain, like just the way it could be better done and operated. But I bet I'm like rambling now. I'm getting tired.
You're good. It's late. It's late. We did a late one for y'all. It's Wednesday now. It's 12:14. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and log off. We had long days, but we appreciate y'all for tuning in with us, showing us love. Thanks for everybody that's commented on our social media platform. Thanks for everybody that's watched us even for a minute. You know what I mean? Show love. So
even if it's only 60 seconds. Sure.
Yeah, give us 60 seconds. You know what I mean? Help us with the algorithm. Y'all know these algorithms, man. Y'all get it.
Right.
But all right, y'all. We tuning off. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all's support. Till the next time. Peace.
Next time. We out. Peace.